Welcome back to Voices of Cypress. I'm Jennifer, and today I have the pleasure of sitting down with someone very special who plays a huge role in connecting and strengthening our community. Joining us is Leslie Martone, president of the CyFair Houston Chamber of Commerce. Leslie, thank you so much for being here. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you.
For those who may not know you yet, would you tell us a little bit about yourself and your role as president of the CyFair Chamber, Houston Chamber of Commerce, and what that involves?
Sure. I am not really born Cypress resident, but I went to Cypher High. Started my journey in Cypress at Arnold Middle School, and graduated from Cypher High School. Went to A&M, and then came back home to Cypress, wanting to raise my family here, and kind of just knew that Cypress is the place I wanted to be and raise my family. And my fiance, now husband, at the time lived in Cyprus as well, so it was a win-win. I've been married to my husband for 26 years. My degree from A&M is Recreation Parks and Tourism Science, which, yes, Rec and Parks, and my name is Leslie. It's kind of funny, the connection. But I was a summer camp director for a couple years,
Okay.
and so loved, and I'm so passionate about what summer camp does for kids, and I think that's what started my love for kids and involvement in kids' lives. But I did that for a while, and my husband was the actual IT worker at our camp, at our summer
Oh,
camp.
I love that.
He was a vendor, and so he was coming in to fix my printer, and that's where we met. And so 26 years later, two boys later, one's 25 and one is 23. And I just made my way. I was in banking, and I just wanted an 8 to 5 job and to be a mom. And then when I found my way to the credit union, to Cypher Credit Union, Debbie Blackshear was really the person who got a spark in me, lit about community involvement. And so that's where I kind of started doing stuff with the chamber. I was an ambassador here for a long time, and served on the board. And then a position became available for the president, and I applied, and here I am 14 years later. So, um, I think we talked a little bit prior to starting. Just there's a lot of things that people don't know about the chambers of commerce, and it is a kind of an older institution, I guess, if you will say. But a lot of people think it's just about ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings. We do so much more than that. It's a way to connect businesses and really make an impact in our community. And in Cypress and in CyFair, when we don't have a city and we don't have a government entity that governs us, we are an arm of that.
Right.
And so I feel like that's such an important piece for people to know. We make sure, and it's a thing that we say all the time, we make sure we're at the table of very important conversations
Mhm.
that surround not just our members, but the entire community.
It is so unique because Cyprus is so big,
Hmm.
but yet we don't have, like, the typical like mayor and like all
Hmm.
that like Houston has, or that even I think it's is it Jersey City
Jersey
or
Village,
Village
yes, City
has
of
all
Jersey
that.
Village. Yep.
And so it is unique that we have that, but that you guys are able to bring all that together, because we are, I feel like we are our own little. I mean, we are our
We are.
city, so
Yeah.
it's great that you guys do that. And you mentioned Debbie Blackshear, and she was amazing at
Yes.
doing that. So wonderful lady. Um, what you did harp on it a little bit, but what necessarily inspired you more so to get more involved other than Debbie? Was there something that enticed you about the chamber? That was it that just the connection that the chamber has with the community and being able to talk to the different businesses and connect with the people?
I think it really started with Debbie. One of the things that she really walked me through was advocacy. And so going to the state capitol and doing some things there as far as lobbying for different positions, whether it be from the credit union side or from the education side. And I think seeing how connections and networking worked there,
Hmm.
and then you come back, and just like most people, you come back to your office, you finish your emails, and you're doing your stuff, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, I really like that. That was really, really cool. And that you can make an impact in it. How can I do that locally? And that's when Debbie was like, that's kind of what our chamber does, is local advocacy for businesses, yes,
Hmm.
but also community members. And
Right.
so I think that's where, when I really got involved at the ambassador group and then moving up to that board level, where you really got to see the operations of the chamber and how it works. We are a nonprofit.
Hmm.
We're not for profit, so it's not. It's a little bit, we don't get any magical government money coming from the sky or anything. We literally get it from our members' dues and then the events that we put on.
Hmm.
That's where we get our money from. And so it's a challenge, and I think that's something too. I've always been the person, I'm up for a challenge. It's a joke kind of between my husband and I. Is tell me I can't do something and watch me do it.
Yeah.
So and nobody said I couldn't do it, but it's just one of those things.
Right.
And I think too, a person in um, a woman in particular, and not so much in these days, but kind of as I was growing up, that was not something that was a position that a woman would hold.
Right.
I came from a single family. My mom was a single mom, and really instilled that in my sister and I, that you can do whatever you want to do. And we both are married and we love men. Don't get, I'm not hating on my men. I'm just saying,
No, I get it.
it's
Yes.
just women are taking positions that in the past they haven't.
Right.
And as it is right now, our entire staff is women. So
That's awesome.
we're 5 full-time staff here at the chamber. We have a lot of volunteers that help us and do what we do. And then we have a board of directors of 14 that help us govern what we do and keep us
Hmm.
on track. So um, I think I enjoyed the challenge, and I enjoyed the advocacy, but then also too at the local level. Because as you know, you've got the U.S. level, you've got the state level, and then you've got Harris County.
Right.
And I think a lot of people lose that, that think that doesn't, well, that's just Harris County. They do what they do. No, there's actually some ways that you can make an impact in the ways that they govern, in the ways they do things. So
Well,
constant constant communication with our commissioners, Leslie Briones and Tom Ramsey, which is the areas that
uh-huh.
they serve here, and just making sure that we stay at the seat at their tables as well.
And so the chamber is celebrating the 40th
Yes,
anniversary this year,
this
and
year.
you've been the president for 14 years.
Yes,
So congratulations
thank
on
you. I
that.
am the longest standing president of
That
the
is
chamber. Yes,
awesome.
thank you. Thank
Congratulations,
you.
B5.
Thank you.
Yes, that
Sorry,
is
let you hang in.
you're okay. It's amazing,
Thank you.
and we are very lucky to have you because
Thank
I
you.
know you're also very involved in our community, not just with the chamber, but you also are a trustee and a volunteer with the CyFair,
Education,
yeah,
yeah,
the education.
educational foundation. Yeah.
And then you're involved in the school district, and you do so much for our community to spread the good, and that is what Voices of Cypress loves.
That's right.
So
That's awesome.
we love that. So um, going back, I want to harp more on the chamber, because many people know the chamber name or
Mm,
have heard like we have a chamber, but they not might not realize all that the chamber does,
okay.
because some may think it's just ribbon cutting,
Hmm.
or so can you share some of the ways that the chamber supports the local businesses, nonprofits, and our community as a whole?
Sure. So we are a membership organization. We encourage people to join. If you're not a member, you need to join today. But we encourage people to join at the chamber. We have several committees where we bring in. We have co-chairs that manage that. So some of it is leadership building, bringing people out of their comfort zone and learning how to create a meeting and how to run a meeting and how to get a speaker and getting all those logistics done.
Hmm.
We just had one yesterday. Government and transportation. Governmental affairs and transportation is what it's called. And it's exactly what it sounds like: anything governmental affairs and anything transportation. And so yesterday's speaker was Commissioner Cameron Dickey, who is a fairly new, 10 months ish ESD 9 commissioner. And so I think he was here really to educate our committee about what was going on with the ESD and what is an ESD. A lot of
Hmm.
people don't know. So we have education and workforce committee, we have ambassador committee, we have a community health committee, um, and then of course we have our ribbon cuttings, and then we have probably one of our more popular events. Two popular events is our networking breakfast once a month, and then our general membership luncheon, which is at the Berry Center each month. Networking breakfast is just an opportunity for people to come in. There's about 150 people, and it's usually different people each time. And you get 30 seconds to introduce
Mhm.
yourself. You can exchange some business cards. It's just a good way to network. So we have opportunities for networking. Networking happens at the committee level. It happens in the networking breakfast. Of course, it also happens at the general membership luncheon. I personally pick the speakers for the luncheon, and it's typically on something that is, not affecting just businesses, but people as a whole.
Mhm.
We've had economists come out and talk about the business economy in Cypress, but then also in Houston. We've had the Houston Sports Authority come out and talk about different things that they're doing coming up. We've had, um, we always have Dr. Killian comes in and does the
Mhm.
state of the district, and Dr. Jones from the Lone Star College does state of the college. So we just have a variety of speakers. Centerpoint has come out talking about hurricane preparedness that can really hit people at different levels. And so we just tried to provide that information and education for people from the business standpoint, but also from a personal. I think everybody can take little
Mhm.
nuggets with them from
Yep.
personal. Community health has been a really great committee, and that we have some physicians that it's body, mind, and spirit. So it's not just all about medical. But how do you deal with your mental health in the holidays? How do you
Mhm.
deal with, fatty liver disease? I mean, we've had all kinds of conversations in this room that have just been amazing. Some of the conversations that happen in these committees, even though it seems very small, um, a little history and known fact: Lone Star College was actually born out of an education and workforce committee
Mhm.
because they said we need an educated workforce,
Yeah.
and our workforce is aging in this area. And they said we need that's where you get that workforce in trade skills is community college. So this committee came through and said, this,
Wow.
how do we go through the process of creating a community college? So they did the interviewing of which college we wanted to do. They had to do the petitions at all the different grocery stores.
Uh-huh.
It was a big long feat, but that happened in this committee.
That's amazing
Yeah.
because that has not only produced so many jobs and opportunities for our kids and stuff, but now that Lone Star is working with our school
Yes.
district, and
Yes.
our kids are able to earn their associates
Yeah.
before they even get their high school diplomas.
Exactly.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't even know
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
that's awesome because
Yeah.
my son will be a junior and he's actually working. I mean, I don't know if we'll actually end up getting the associates, but we're working on
Working
it.
there. Yep.
And just the fact that he has that opportunity, my daughter will be a freshman, so she's going to have that opportunity as well.
Hmm.
So that is
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah,
I
it
love
is a
that.
well-known fact that chambers of commerce don't brag on themselves enough, don't tell their story,
Well, I mean,
and that's what
you
we're
should.
doing
Yeah,
today.
yeah. I mean,
But we do. We try, and there's so many.
yeah.
Mason Road doesn't go all the way through Dunham Point,
Hmm.
and the chamber was the catalyst to get those people at the table to talk about it and
Okay.
say this has to happen.
Yeah.
It's now happening.
Wow.
And so in 4 years, Mason Road will go all the way through Dunham Point to
Good.
Bridgeland. So
Okay.
our students
Thank you.
that come from Fairfield to go to Bridgeland High
Yes.
School will not have to travel on 99
Wow.
because that's it's anyways. That's
Yes.
but it's
Well,
just
that
stuff
also
like
helps
that.
the buses. It helps the.
Oh,
I mean,
well, and that's who
yes.
was at the table.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the things that I probably pride myself in a little bit, in
Hmm.
that I was very instrumental and very, um, I really felt relationships are so key.
Yes.
And I think everybody kind of says that and just, okay, pass it off. But building those relationships over the past 14 years afforded me the opportunity to call our superintendent, to call our head of transportation,
Hmm.
to call our fire department, to call these people that come to the table and say, we have to have this discussion
Yeah.
and let every person tell about what their pain point is because Mason Road doesn't go through.
Yeah.
And unfortunately it was a landowner that he was the end all that didn't do anything yet, and he was at the table, thankfully, and he got to hear all this, and all we were being kind and respectful, but just saying, okay, it's your turn. What's great is public private partnerships. So that private landowner is going to have to do a part of the road, but the huge part of it is the huge 4-lane uh, bridge that's going to be longer than the bridge on Greenhouse that Harris
Wow.
County is fitting the bill for, and they are building. That's huge.
That's
But
amazing.
they weren't going to build that bridge unless this landowner did their part of Mason. So you have to bring those people
Yes.
to the table. Everybody says okay. And then, obviously there's follow up. You have to hold
Hmm.
people accountable. Hey, you said this, you're going to do this. All those things happened, and it's going to happen.
That's
So
awesome.
it's just that type of stuff. Relationships are so key, and I could probably put that word to every story that I have, that it's part of my story here at the chamber. We had a time where North Cypress, before it was HCA, they were expanding 290, and they were busting up the concrete on the feeder road. And the hospital marketing department called us and said, "You've got to get TxDOT to stop doing that. We have the whole building is shaking. We have people that are ready to go into
Wow.
surgery." So we called TxDOT. They stopped, and they could go through with the surgery.
Wow. I'm already getting emotional
I
because I
know.
love all these this is what I love. Like I love hearing all of the good happenings,
Yeah.
right? Because that's what
Yeah.
you don't
That's
hear
right.
um, about and it is about relationship building.
It
It is all
is.
about bringing the community together, and it about helping one another and helping the whole community. Because believe it or not, even though these, might be like a pocket of this section or this section,
Mm-hmm.
in the end, it helps everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys don't just focus on, oh, we're just going to focus on just this section because of
Right.
the area it is.
Right.
You focus on every, area. um and it's just amazing the things that you guys are doing, and the work that goes into it is, it's a lot,
Yeah.
but you can tell by the look on your
Yeah.
face the passion that you have for it, and your team is. I've had the pleasure of being a member of the chamber through my former
Mm-hmm.
job that I recently left, and I was at first a little intimidated. I'm a very, I'm an extrovert. I'm very open, but I was a little intimidated because I'm not like a professional business person. But I felt so welcomed going
Good.
into all the events. I attended several ribbon cuttings and several networking events and luncheons, and I always felt welcomed,
Good.
and I always felt that I was able to meet people and make relationships, and it's just different conversations
Mm-hmm.
and just helping each other out. But also there was trainings. I attended some workshops that helped me learn some skills that I needed help with, because
Good.
when I took my job, I didn't know what I was doing. I
Sure.
just kind of, came to me. I
Mm-hmm.
was very blessed, and it came to me, and it really helped me out. So I've met some really amazing people in the community, and so that's been great. And then I know that you guys also do a lot of work with a lot of nonprofits, so
Mm-hmm.
I've been able to do that, like meet a lot of nonprofits that I might not have known that these nonprofits are even in the Cypress area.
Right.
And so I'm now volunteering with these
That's
nonprofits,
awesome.
and connecting with them also, through my kids and I are in organizations that volunteer. So
Good.
that's been good. And then know you guys also do, a couple of fundraisers to help
We
the
do.
community. So you guys are just doing
Yeah.
amazing work.
We started a couple years ago a nonprofit roundtable, and it actually happened. I think we started it right before COVID, because during COVID, sitting at this very table, and it was it was an emotional moment, because we had people. It's an opportunity for nonprofits to just share their pain points, but share their celebrations as well. Things that went well, things that didn't go well. Hey, do you know anybody that does this? All those types of conversations happen at the table. During COVID, we had the fire department, and then we had Reach Unlimited, who serves adults with
Hmm.
intellectual and developmental disabilities. And the government required Reach to have so many meals, whether the clients were actually going to eat them or not. But at the group homes, they had to have so many meals that were ready to go.
Uh-huh.
And all the clients had food and ready to go, but it
Yeah.
wasn't how the government wanted it organized. Well, on this side of the table was the fire department that got all these MREs that were delivered to them, and they didn't know what to do with them. So they delivered them to Reach, and Reach was able to hit their point, and then they were able to get those out of. I mean, I think they gave them to different
Yeah,
nonprofits
yeah,
for
yeah.
different other reasons. It wasn't like they just handed them
Right,
all
right, yeah,
over.
yeah.
But that was the coolest conversation. And then I think we had one nonprofit got a whole bunch of diapers that were
Mhm.
donated to them, and so this other one's like, I could use some of those, and they figured out a way to make sure that they could spread the love throughout the community. And I was like, so we have that once a quarter, and that still
Yeah.
has
I was gonna say,
proven
I
to
know
be
that still happens
yes.
because I, you know,
You came to one, I think.
yeah, and
Yeah,
will also being, you know, I'll go volunteer somewhere and
yeah,
I'll see another nonprofit, you know, that I know,
yeah,
and they're delivering something or
yeah,
vice versa,
yeah,
or so I know that they're still like, if one has, you know, we have an over, you know, abundance of something, we will
hmm,
help another, you know, because it's in a different area, and so it helps the whole community. So I
yeah.
think that that is just
And one of
incredible
our
as well.
initiatives that we do is the John Fox Chamber Herd. We raise money from all businesses and we go to the FFA auction and
Hmm.
we buy animals from there. This last year, we raised $37,000. And Mark McShaffrey and Debbie Blackshear are chamber herd bosses, as we call them. And
Hmm.
so, obviously, losing Debbie this year was really hard in many respects, but definitely she was a powerful player in that initiative. But what we do is a lot of people, well, what do you do with all that meat? You have a big barbecue. What do you do?
Hmm.
No, the meat is processed, and it's either the animal goes live to Boys and Girls Country, or it's processed and it goes to 4 different nonprofits. So it stays right here, and we work with the processor that is able to break it apart in smaller pieces so that a family doesn't get a whole,
Yeah, yeah.
whole pig or whatever. And so it's been great partnership, and I
Wow,
think those nonprofits absolutely love it.
that's awesome.
Obviously, I wish I could do it all year long.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a small part at the beginning of the year, but it does help those nonprofits. And so all that stuff stays local right here.
and it helps the
And it
student
helps the student.
because
Absolutely.
that gets, when they sell the animal, it goes to their
Yes.
scholarships.
Yes.
That's
Yes. It goes
awesome.
back to them. And it's just a great opportunity for them to continue their FFA journey or whatever their next journey in their high school career on into college goes. So it's just making an impact in the life of that kid, but
That
then
is amazing.
also on the nonprofit side too.
That
So
is just, that is incredible. Um, so you've had a lot of opportunities to be a part of incredible events, and milestones around, Cypress and CyFair area. Is there a particular moment or experience that really made you fall in love with the community, or that sticks out to you?
I think I'm going to go back to my moments with Debbie Blackshear. Just she was so instrumental, and some of it's top of mind just with everything happening this past year. But I remember her bringing me to the FFA auction at the credit union, and to continue that at the chamber world has just been amazing to continue to do that. So that one holds a pretty soft spot in my heart. We also have named it after our former chamber herd boss, which was John Fox, huge community leader in the community. Unfortunately, a number of years ago, passed away, and so but just made such an impact in that program and that initiative. And his family comes every single year. So his sweet wife Robbie comes and sits with us, and she's out there taking pictures with the kids, and their grandkids have grown up through the process as well. Some of them doing their own projects and being at the auction block as well. So it's been really cool to see all of that and to see how our community comes together. I think that's the positive side that it's puts a sparkle in your eye and a
Yeah,
lift in your step to just say, I am doing really good things for this community. There are always hard things to do, and there's things that you come to the table and they're not the easiest conversations and they're
right,
not the hardest. I mean, it didn't come out successful,
right,
but you just keep trying.
right.
And I think if you have a passion for a community, which I try to surround myself with people that are truly passionate about it, not about tearing down the community, but
Hmm.
building up the community. I think we're only going to win from there. So
Yep. Well, we are all about building up the
that's right.
community and
That's
being
right.
positive. One of the things we love about we love highlighting on Voices Cypress is hidden gems, that make our area so, special. Is there a local event or program initiative that you wish more families knew about?
Well, I hate to say it even publicly, maybe because when you said it, it made me think of it. And I know everybody knows we have a VFW, but we have a VFW post, and they host a steak night once a month. And if you haven't been to VFW post, I think it's 8905. I don't know exactly the number. But anyways, their steak night, you can check out their website and go to their steak night. It's just an amazing opportunity to give back to the VFW and
Okay.
the veterans and people that are in our community dealing with either PTSD or also just continuing on life. That's something that I took somebody with me not that long ago that I didn't think that they knew about.
Okay.
I
That's
think
good to
there's
know.
also too. I think a lot of people miss or maybe take for granted things that are in our community that you just don't know. We have a race park in our community, Sam Houston Race Park. And it's a cool place to go. And, if you've never seen a horse race, that's
Or
pretty cool.
ostriches, or
Ostriches,
like,
camels,
yeah.
wiener dogs. I
Yes.
think they do that one.
Yes.
But they do other things too, and it's a just great opportunity to learn if you're even interested in that industry and what they do. It's pretty cool. But not every town has that,
Right.
but we do. So I think there's some things there. We're also known for our parks. Harris County has helped us with that, but we have a lot of great parks in our community that I think a lot of people don't know about. A friend of mine highlights either on Saturday or Sundays every time he takes his kid to a new park. His goal is to go to a new park.
That's awesome.
So highlighting the parks in our area, but it's just a great place to live.
It is.
And we have great health care. I think in the past we used to say we have great health care because we have a medical center downtown, in the med center. We now have it in Cypress, and people don't have to leave to be healthy and thriving. So, and I know it's coming up in a coming up question, I think, but the future of where we're going, it's been on the radar now for a little less than a year, but the Toro District. So as a community, we're kind of bracing ourselves with, are we going to be transitioning into a touristy area?
Yeah.
Because of that. What I am excited about the Toro District is there's going to be components of Harris County offices that are going to be brought out here to Cypress. So instead of going downtown to get registrations or permits renewed or any of those things, it sounds like you'll be able to do some of those things in the Toro District. So we're excited about that. But yeah, still a lot to come. We have an economic forum coming up in October that we just got confirmed. The Houston Texans will be our keynote. So we'll learn more about what that's going to look like.
That's cool.
So yeah, there's a lot of history out here, and there's a lot of cool things that but I encourage people, even within your own neighborhood, things that you may not know about, things in your own neighborhood, start there and just work your way out into the community. Because I think there's so many hidden gems that, at restaurants, we have tons of them. I know people complain about having a Mexican restaurant or a coffee shop on every corner and all that, but there's some really good hidden gems that, are really neat restaurants in Cypress as well.
Well, our school district too. There's lots of opportunities in our school district to get involved there. And then you mentioned the healthcare. You guys have a health expo every year. Is it in November?
I believe so.
And so that,
the Berry Center,
that's
huge.
That huge, and highlights, all the healthcare, because we do have. It is amazing to have that opportunity because it is needed, especially with the population that we have. That you don't have to drive all the way to downtown to go to the doctor, or go, if there's an emergency, go to the hospital, or for women to get a mammogram. Like I can just go down the street, like. So it's great to have all those opportunities and have options, around us for that. So that's great. But yes, I am good with all the coffee shops. I love coffee and to have options all over the place. I am, and same with Mexican food. I am okay with that too. So yes, keep them coming. Yes. So the question is, what you kind of harped on it, or talked about it, is as the community continues to grow, what excites you most about the future of Cypress, and what is your vision for where we're headed? So I know that you kind of talked about that, but don't know if you want to.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are hearing a lot of things in the news about our school districts, and not just ours, but many area school districts. And I encourage people to really get involved, either in a committee, be a mentor to a student. A lot of people think that we're on a decline. I'm super proud about our school district and things that they've done for decades. And I think that's helped us to get where we are now. Are there challenges that we're facing? Yes, absolutely. Some of it is completely out of our control. But what I love is the school district has equipped themselves with professional people that are so smart about what they do that they're almost thinking ahead of what these legislators are thinking. And so trying to hit the needs before it's coming out to be a mandate, which we as you and I both know, usually is unfunded. And so if you get used to that and you hit it head on, I also encourage people in the community, learn about how the money comes into the school district, because there's a lot of myths out there that people don't understand. What money is built for buildings cannot be used for teacher salary. Right. And as soon as you can know that, It will educate yourself to know better. Also, get involved. There's so many committees and ways that you can get involved. You can also be a mentor and make an impact on the life of a child.
Mhm.
I have been a mentor. I need to get back into it as well. My hope is to go back to the Carlton Center. I have a son with special needs, and I love that population. And I think that that is something that they may not have enough mentors or
Mhm.
people that are comfortable going in that environment. But I've mentored at-risk students at the AB Center,
Mhm.
where they needed to have a committee meeting to talk about their future and what they're going to do, and they may not have a parent.
Mm.
And so, having the opportunity to stand in and stand by a student to do that probably has been one of the biggest impacts of my life, is being
I love
able
that.
to do that with a kid. Um, and it's kids that have just had a rough journey,
Yeah.
and they just need another student or another adult just to sit there and support them and love on
Mhm.
them. And I know you know all this. I'm preaching to the choir, but
No, but I mean, the
it's
listeners need to
the
hear it too.
listeners.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that's so impactful. And you think, what can I do for one? Okay, but if you do one and somebody else does one, we can make an impact.
Absolutely.
We can make an impact. Also, too, businesses can adopt schools. And so if your business and you think, oh, I don't have the budget for that, I can't do that, it can be done. It
Right.
can be done as little as, some coffee and donuts for the teachers, or,
Mhm.
it could be, new computer, new things that the PTA can't, or PTO can't, whatever,
And
can't.
not all schools have a PTO
No,
or
right.
involved, or have the funds, or they might have a PTO, but they don't have the capability of even doing donuts for staff or whatever, and that helps the morale. I mean, go
Absolutely.
you would never know that a one single donut goes a long
That's
way
right.
in
Sure does.
a day of a teacher or staff member. But yes, mentoring is a huge thing that I am like passionate about.
Hmm.
In fact, I just had one of my mentees that I started when she was in fourth grade. She just graduated
Oh,
from high
wow.
school.
That's awesome.
She had some struggles, and she ended up calling me and a couple weeks ago and said, I'm graduating with an honors cord.
That's
And I was like,
amazing.
wow. And so it's full circle, and
Hmm.
she's off to college to get a nursing degree, and
That's
it's
awesome.
just 30 minutes once a week,
Yeah.
just being a cheerleader for
Yeah.
these kids
Absolutely.
that may not have it, or even if they do have it, they might need a little support. I mean, I know
Hmm.
that even my own kids, I have teenagers right now,
Hmm.
they don't listen to anything that I say. But if you tell them the same exact
So
thing that I
yes,
tell them,
yes,
they will listen to
yes, they
you.
will. Yes, they will.
It's just being there for them, also getting involved. um, you learn things,
Hmm.
because there's a lot of things out there that are not necessarily true, and you're looking at it and you're like, oh, that's got to be true. Well, no, but if you get involved and you
Hmm.
actually learn, oh, that's how it is. Or
Hmm.
and there's so many committees out there that you can join or get
Hmm.
involved in. It's um they're not necessarily like, oh, I'm gonna have this, you apply for it and you can
Sure.
get picked. And
Right.
so yes, there's so many ways to get involved. You can be a global volunteer and go
Right.
help in the library at a school, or book
Right.
fair, or there's just, yes, so many ways of getting involved. I could talk all day long about that, so, and I know you can too.
Yes.
But before we wrap up, I know there's maybe people watching who would love to get more involved in our community but aren't quite sure where to start. How can local businesses, families, or community members get involved with or support the CyFair Houston Chamber of
So
Commerce?
you can go on our website, and there's a join now button, and you can do it right then and there. One thing that a lot of people don't know, and it's one thing I love about our community, we have a lot of people that retire and stay here. And so we
Mhm.
have a community leader level. So people that aren't necessarily connected to a business can join at a community leader level. It's $150 a year for the entire year. You can come to anything and everything that we have, but you just want to stay engaged. We had a guy that, by the name of John Ritchie, passed away a number of years ago. And when we came up with this community leader, he loved the chamber so much he would not do the community leader level because he wanted to give back to the chamber more.
Oh,
But that's exactly what he was here for.
yeah.
And he had served in Vietnam. He had done all kinds of things as a veteran. and just wanted that brain to stay intact and stay
Yeah.
engaged and stay, have a schedule to go do things. So I encourage people, if you're just thinking, how can I get involved and do something? You can join at a community leader level, but you can join as a business as well, anywhere, from the 350, 400 range up into the 5,000s, depending on the different things.
Yeah.
But it's all on the website. You can see everything. You can see all of our events. You can see all our ribbon cuttings. We do a CyFair Connect magazine every year. That's on the website, so you can see everything in there that we're doing and active. You can see highlights about our 40th anniversary and things that we've been doing. I think that's been a neat thing to go through the process of looking what has happened over the last 40 years. And, we were created in 1986. And I think there's some of us that remember still, that year and what was going on in Chernobyl was happening that year. And there's some things, one of the NASA spaceships exploded. The Challenger was 86.
No.
And so I think about, what are people like you and I sitting around talking today? They were doing that 40 years ago.
Yeah.
What were they thinking about? What would CyFair be like in 40 years?
Wow.
And so I think as we've discovered it, we came up with a banner that talked about all the things, all the stories that we have created and done in this community in the 40 years that we've been here. And I'm super proud. I mean,
You should be.
standing on the shoulders of giants who have done it before me, but some of it's things that we've done, but it's people that have done it before us, that we're just continuing to carry that legacy. And I think that's something, as a community member, in anything you're doing, whether you're just involved in your neighborhood, in your HOA, if you're involved in your kid's school, whatever it is, there are people ahead of you that have, paved a path for you.
Right.
Continue that, make it better, make our community better by doing that, and stand on their shoulders and learn what's next. You can see the horizon. They
Yeah.
may not have, but you can.
Yeah.
And I think that's just so important to keep our community strong.
Oh, I love that. Well, Leslie, thank you so much for spending time with me today and for sharing your passion for our incredible community. You are doing an incredible job. You
Thank
should
you.
be proud. We're
Thank
lucky
you.
to have you and your team, doing all the incredible things. We appreciate everything that the chamber does for the local businesses, but also for our community. I learned a lot.
Good.
Our viewers, I'm sure, learned a lot also, and all the things that you guys do. You guys build, connections and just help Cypress continue to thrive. I'm excited to see what you guys are going to continue to do,
Yeah,
because I know there's probably a lot more big things coming.
absolutely.
And thank you to all of you for listening. Be sure to follow Voices of Cypress as we continue to share stories of amazing people who are making differences right here in our community. Until next time, keep celebrating the heart of Cypress. Yay!